I'm just kidding. Okay, we're here. There we go. I was like, I never know if there's going to be a big lead up, but we are live. Welcome, Elisabeth. I am so happy that you are here, and I'm so happy that any of you joining are here. Yeah, thank you so much. Everyone, meet Elisabeth joining us live, and Elisabeth is here to share about her journey in life in general, I suppose, but her journey in being a part of this program. And yeah, I really wanted to invite Elisabeth here because her journey is nothing short of amazing, and I know so many of you will relate to it. And I think it's really important to share this with the world because I know a lot of you are struggling out there, and you probably need to hear from someone like Elisabeth that it's possible to overcome those struggles. I know I needed to hear that when I was going through this, so that's also why I'm so grateful that you're here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start. Yeah, let's back the train up a little bit. I'd love for you to share with us. I kind of remember being on that call with you many months ago when we were talking through exactly what you were struggling with that led you to want to join the program. So maybe you could share with us, like, yeah, what were you struggling with? What did life really look like for you at that time?
Yeah, so it was last summer. I had just moved to Texas from Chicago. I had just finished residency, and the move was a big transition for me just because of new place, new food, new job, new exercise, all of that was something that I kind of felt like I needed to control, and I was using poor coping skills to do that, which kind of brought me to a real big low, like a rock bottom that I hadn't even really realized I was at because I had normalized so much of my behavior, especially throughout residency. So by the time that I got to Texas, it sort of like the train came crashing to a stop. And I realized kind of all the restriction and over exercising that I was doing. And I guess when the train really hit the brakes was when I did a road trip down to Texas here with my dad. And I had been struggling with IBS, like really bad constipation. And I was struggling with that quite a bit when I got to Texas. My belly was so full. I couldn't eat. I was so uncomfortable. And I was really energetically, physically stuck to the point where I even felt like somebody was choking me all the time. And I couldn't really function. My dad was like, all right, well, let's go get an ice cream or let's go out to eat. I couldn't eat. I was just eating, I think barley was the only food I was eating, was cooked barley, because I had all these rules and systems about food that was allowed and not allowed. And I was backed so far into a corner, and I didn't know what to do. I was here kind of with my dad in this empty apartment, and I had been tapping with somebody who I'd found on YouTube randomly, Brad Yates. And yeah, and I loved how the energy just moved so quickly. I would do it before work, and then I was like, well, maybe there's EFT tapping for weight loss. And because, I was still in this place where I needed to change my body before I could be happy, before I could really do anything in life. And then your YouTube videos came up. And thank God, I remember doing a couple of them and just bawling, standing in the mirror, like just losing it. And yeah, that's kind of when I realized that I had been hiding through all these layers, all of these protective mechanisms, from actually feeling what was going on.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I bet those listening can really feel that relatability to their own journey. And so how long do you think in your life you were struggling with, You mentioned like over exercising, restricting food. It sounds like obviously body image. Like, how long do you think you were struggling with those throughout your life?
So the first time I went on a restrictive diet was when I was in 5th grade with one of my girlfriends. And we were the tall basketball players who were big boned. We were labeled. And the two of us went on a salad diet for a while. So yeah, I'm 33 now. So it was a long time ago. Um,
Mm.
but I definitely had this idea that it was just something I was always going to struggle with. I was just always going to be that girl that had issues with her body, that had struggles with food. I was always that girl who wouldn't be able to eat enough, like a normal person. I would always have to restrict. I would always have to eat less and exercise more than anybody else because that was just my luck in the world, or the cards that were dealt to me. It was a really deep belief.
Yeah, and how do you feel that affected your life?
It um, it affected every decision that I made. Uh, yeah, I continued to overexercise and undereat and overeat throughout junior high. Then I got a very severe eating disorder in high school, um, where I was restricting a lot, and then went the whole other way in college. I also did extreme exercise like Ironmans and triathlons to kind of compensate and hide. And then I went into the medical field where you continue to go to the extremes of over exercising, overworking, over everything. Um, and yeah, just the never feeling like I could be enough just as I was, always running for something more, was how I ended up making most of my life decisions.
Wow. Yeah, oh my goodness. Again, so relatable. And it sounds like it really affected things, even like your relationship with family members. You've mentioned like friends. Like, what else do you feel like it was really stealing from you?
Yeah, so it's very isolating because you're so caught up in your thoughts of all the time. Well, when am I going to go do my 20-mile run? Or how am I going to eat only gluten free and dairy free when I'm on this vacation? It was, very isolating, especially in residency. I would just eat by myself at home by the window, and it would be mostly green food or approved foods that I had had on my list for that week. It always changed. Um, yeah, very isolating.
Yeah, I remember you saying that there were foods that you felt you could only eat like at that time, and so I imagine that sounds very stressful. Like, how would you go out with friends or anything if you felt like you couldn't eat things that were off that list?
Yeah, it was exhausting. It would even affect how I would travel. I would only go on vacations where I could exercise a lot or have access to foods that I could eat, where there were places that I was comfortable with, that I knew the menu. And when I would go out to eat, I would pick over the menu before, I'd look up the restaurant. At one point, I had this like seed oil thing that I was using, and the rules would just change so much. So it was like a full time job. And then I would get so tired of all my fake made up rules that then I would just do whatever I wanted and then be so sad about it the next day and so guilty.
Mhm.
I would hide again. And then you'd get so lonely that you would go do the extremes again.
Oh, the cycle, it's so painful and exhausting and isolating, like you said.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And what were some of those recurrent, we all have that kind of tape recorder that likes to control us, those thoughts about our body image that just take up so much space. Like for you, what were those main thoughts that you felt imprisoned by?
Mhm. I wasn't going to be loved until I was thinner. It
Mhm.
wasn't worth getting myself out there until I was in a different body. I had to push, push, push be thin. There was no point in having friends, doing anything except for working and being thin.
Mm.
And that really guided my life.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel hearing that that was how most of your life was led?
Oh, it's so sad. I'm so thankful that I feel so much freer now. Thank God. Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is. It can be so all consuming, so imprisoning, so isolating that we wonder how we got anything done for that
Yeah.
first.
I don't know how I did anything. I don't know how I graduated medical school, got through residency when 99% of my thoughts were spent on if the food was gluten free or not, or how many green beans I was going to have, or whatever.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. And so I know that you're a very determined, beautiful person who's tried so hard. Like when we met, you had done a lot. So
Mhm.
what had you tried on this journey to try and have a different relationship with food?
Yeah. So I had personal trainers, I had medical doctors, endocrinologists, physical therapists. I used a lot of alternative medicine, acupuncture, oriental medicine, herbs. I was really into Ayurveda, which is traditional Indian medicine. And I found a lot of solace in that because of all the rules that it had. And so it felt like a system structure that I could follow and obsess over.
Mhm.
And to the point where my only cookbooks were Ayurvedic cookbooks. I would only buy foods that were approved by the in season lists. I was spending tons of money on supplements and Ayurvedic consultations. I did every diet you could think of. I was gluten free and vegan for a while. Then I was paleo, keto, um, uh, anything vegetarian. All the things I did them.
Yeah. You really did. I'm like, I think I counted like 20 different things there. So that's pretty amazing. So how did it feel trying all those things and feeling like you still at that point hadn't really healed the struggles? Like, yeah.
Yeah, you just feel hopeless. Like, well, if this isn't going to work, what is Instagram going to tell me the next diet is? And when we were talking, it was carnivore was kind of the big one.
Oh boy. Yeah. I'm sure there's something else now, folks.
Yeah.
It's laughable. I'm sure I could probably make something off the top of my head and it would be there and someone would be telling us it's the new latest solve to all of your problems, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And so for you, like let's fast forward till now. Like what has changed for you since actually joining this program and making the decision to commit to doing this a different way?
So I would say life has done a complete 180 in so many ways. Just food alone. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. This is a phrase that I never thought I would say in my whole life. Moment of silence for that. But yeah, it's amazing. I eat all the food varieties. I go out to eat. I don't stress about where it is, when it is, what the menu has, what seed oils there are. I eat 3 meals at least, which is 3 times what I was eating before.
Hmm.
Uh, and I have a ravenous appetite that I'm so proud of.
I love that. I remember we had a true celebration for Elizabeth's appetite coming back because it's such an important signal of your body telling you that you're balanced and harmonious and that your nervous system feels safe. So many of us lose our appetite because we're so imprisoned by all these rules and stress around food. So that's such a big deal.
It's so freeing, and I can just decide whatever I want to make for dinner, and it just happens. It's
And
easy.
what's that really like for you to go from this place where you were so controlled by food to now feeling so, free around food?
Yeah, it's so light and weightless, and it makes room to do other things. I can just run to the grocery store, get whatever. There's no manipulating, controlling. It's easy and light.
That's amazing. And I know, like, talk to me more about the changes that you've seen within your physiology. So, like, your appetite coming back. I know that you were struggling with a lot of physical symptoms. So, what do you think shifted for you around that?
Yeah, big time. So the appetite came back. That was like week 3 or week 4. I remember being so excited about it. The IBS issues that I had struggled with, I was taking laxatives every night for years. Um, and that went away very quickly. I think really by the time I had signed up with you, just the security of knowing that there was an answer, it's just gone.
Mm,
And it's incredible. Yeah, my body feels good. I feel good in my body. I trust my body, and I didn't realize that trusting my body was the ticket to healing it, and it has all the answers right here.
mhm. I
Yeah.
love that so much. And what, I think we all know our relationship with our bodies are an ever evolving journey. We don't arrive somewhere where we're, on this meditative stool and we're like, I am healed. Like, we get it. We're we're always growing and learning and all of that. But what have you experienced that has positively shifted in your relationship with your body and how you relate to your body? Because I know that was a big weight for you in your life.
Big deal. Yeah, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror most days, and my attitude or my mood would be determined by a glance that I saw or a reflection or how I looked in a photo that the day before or whatever. And now I look in the mirror and we've joked about this. I give myself finger guns. Yes. I did right before this.
I love that.
I love my reflection and I love my body, which is also something I never thought would be possible for me to truly believe and say.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what changes for you in your life when that's how you feel in yourself and that's how, yeah, you care for yourself? Like, what do you notice changes when this is the relationship you have with your body?
Yeah, all of a sudden you become pretty magnetic and think you radiate uh, a lot of love and light, and things are just, you attract things into your life that reflect that back.
Mhm.
And even through the program, I had some crazy stuff with work come up, and I approached it with just a different energy because I didn't go back to, oh, well, losing weight will fix this problem at work.
Yeah.
Or let me distract myself with this, so I don't have to deal with the work issue. And actually, the work stuff moved very smoothly, and it was okay. Um, I think I got off topic.
No, it's still on topic because I think, the tools that we learn in this program about our body image and food are tools that I want you to apply to different parts of your life because life continues to be chaotic and stressful. We can't control what work does or, the political climate and whatnot. But if we can take care of ourselves with these tools, we get to keep our progress and keep nurturing ourselves and have that relationship we want with ourselves instead of feeling like, we're a victim of the world's circumstances. So that I think that's a really empowered position you created for yourself with work.
And I just realized this is a little off topic, but I didn't even mention the binging that I was doing. And that just, I mean, that's like an afterthought now, or not even a thought.
Yeah,
So,
tell us about the binging because I know that you're right. We did struggle with binging before. So what was that like?
yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, that was a big part of my life and a way that I coped, especially with work. I would hide and isolate throughout the day and only eat approved foods, and then it would just kind of, all hell would break loose when I got home. And it was a way that I distracted myself. And that went away very quickly with that amazing cravings tapping exercise that you have, which I've used for other things, and it's just incredible.
Oh, I love that. I'm so happy to hear that. And was the binge eating something that you also struggled with for a long time in your life?
Yeah, it was kind of on and off with restriction and binging, but that was sort of the heavy hitter, the one that was always there to soothe me.
And what do you have now to soothe yourself? So other than binging, using, over-exercising, restriction, like all those things that you know weren't working, obsessing over weight loss, like how do you take care of yourself now?
Ah, it's so enjoyable, and it's really like a special time. But I do a meditation in the morning with some tapping, and then throughout the day, I tap quite a bit.
Yes, you do.
I'm a tapper. It's just such a nice tool to have at work because when I'm scrubbed in or whatever, I can just tap here, or this one is okay when you're scrubbed in. Um, and yeah, there's just so many little tools. You can also do this when you're scrubbed in. So I haven quite a bit.
I love it.
Yeah. And some bathroom breaks with some tapping goes a long way.
It sure does. Oh my gosh, I love to hear that you brought that to work. Your patients must be so grateful, even if they don't know what you're doing, because your energy transfers through all those experiences with other people. So what a gift that they have you.
Oh,
That's amazing. And so reflecting on, because I'm trying to think of how long specifically you've been in the program now.
8 months.
Oh my gosh, that's so wild. So I know that even like 3 weeks in, you were sending me messages about the amazing shifts that you were creating for yourself, and that kind of continued through. I feel like you had a lot of milestones throughout the whole way, which is so wonderful. What do you feel, in your opinion, what's the best part of this program?
Mm. There are so many special parts. I would say my favorite part, which was not what I was expecting, was the community. I was very nervous about the community and kind of being outed.
Oh, okay, tell me more. I feel like so many people would relate to that.
Well, I was just used to hiding, and this was like my little secret. And I don't think many of my friends knew. I told one of them after I was in the program, and she was like, "You're kidding me." And I was like, "Yeah, I go home and I eat 50 dates or whatever." And um, the community just brings you so much ease. And the women are so beautiful in the program. Ugh, they're just gems. And sharing your story and hearing theirs is something so soothing and comforting. And it's so fun to watch people grow. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love that so much. And I know your sentiment is shared by, I would say, every single person in this program. So I know the importance of community, but tell me more about how, now that you've been through this program and you've experienced the results that you have. I know a lot of people are used to the traditional, I work with one practitioner, I see them in their little room once a week or whatever, and then maybe that goes on once a month, or it's a very different, we're used to a very different way of working with people. Like my approach is vastly different.
Mhm.
So how do you feel about that now, um having been through it? Like,
Yeah. So I did cognitive behavioral therapy since I was 16. So I was used to brain dumping and focusing on all my problems and my issues and obsessing over them and how was I going to fix them, and this is what's wrong with me and this is why I messed up. And it's a totally different system. And it's a sustainable system that actually causes change in results instead of perseverating on negativity.
mm,
And that's where the answers are. That's where the solutions are. Um, and it's just a totally different way of looking at and processing what you have going on in your life. And it works. I remember there was a video on one of your videos, I don't know if it was on YouTube, when I was thinking about joining and somebody said, "Don't walk, run." I'm like, "Don't walk, don't run, like, get on a spaceship and join right now because your life will never be the same."
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love that so much. Get on a spaceship, transport in time, just arrive. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad that that's how you feel. Yeah, I was so curious about that because I know for myself, I did the whole therapy thing for 20 plus years and found, yes, it's helpful, but it was quite limiting for me, hence why I developed my program and method the way it is. So, did you and do you feel that because this isn't the same sort of arrangement as it is with a traditional therapist, do you feel that there is enough one-on-one support for you on your journey?
Yes, and I quit my cognitive behavioral therapist. I feel so supported here. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much love to go around.
I love to hear that. And, the program you mentioned, you've been in this for 8 months, so some people might be asking, "Well, how long is this program?" Um, so when you heard on that call with me that this program doesn't have an end date, it's not 3 months, it's not 6 weeks, like, how important was that to you then versus now, or did that feeling change? Like, what would you have to say about that time frame thing?
Yeah, I was so desperate for help. I would have done it for 3 weeks if you said that was it, and I would have done it. Um, I also didn't realize how amazing the program was until I was in it,
Mhm.
because there's only so many ways you can explain all the love and support that the program offers until you're in it and you feel it.
Mhm. I love that.
Um, yeah, and so knowing that it's for a lifetime also just puts you at ease, and it feels so safe and comfortable and homey,
Mhm.
and I think that that contributes to a lot of the healing too.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause how do you think your nervous system feels knowing you have a safe container of safety that it isn't 3 months and then good luck, see how you do? Like, how does that feel for you now?
Right. It just feels so comfortable and safe. Yeah. It
Mhm.
just the love is never ending.
You'll never be able to be free of me, just kidding. No, you know why that is the way that it is. And yeah, for any of you watching, if you're wondering why do we have access to it for so long, it's because we know that a nervous system needs ongoing safety and regulation to really, continue to rewire and hold those results. And if we say, here's 3 months, and then we rip the carpet out from under someone and go, good luck, figure it out, well, we know life's inevitably going to become stressful again, as it is. And then we have no support system. And now I'm phoning around looking on Google for who else is going to help me. And I have to start back at ground one. Here's my history. Here's this. Like it's just
Mhm,
not. So we just do things differently over here.
mhm.
Um, so I know you've said a lot already, but what would you say to anybody out there who is struggling with what you struggled with and is thinking about, this program specifically?
I would say it has above and beyond changed my life, and I will be forever grateful to Julia for her program. Um,
Oh.
I get a little emotional about it, but it's if I could tell my past self to have done this when I was 16, I couldn't imagine all of the change in the world that I could have made and all of the women that I could have empowered just with the change in my energy. Um, it's just, if you're feeling anything like I was, it will change your life. And that's just all there is to it. Julia's got you. And yeah, I don't
And
know.
we've got each other too. We've got each other
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it
The
really is.
community's got you.
Yeah, we've got each other. It really is like a sisterhood. And I think that, like you said earlier, My gosh, I felt so alone too and ashamed, and your friends don't get it. The friends that don't struggle with this, they love you, but it's very different talking and being around people who struggle with exactly what you do, and we're all healing together, right?
Mhm.
Like it hits very different. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that shame is what tends to keep us super stuck around this.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
are you most proud of yourself for? Because I want to also acknowledge that you have been so consistent. You've put in the work. You dedicate time to yourself. So that's a big win, and that's what really creates results. We can't, as I always say, I wish I could poof my magic wand and not have for you to do anything and I could just fix it for you, but life doesn't work like that. So yeah, what are you most proud of yourself for?
So, one is my spiritual practice. I have a very strong faith now, which is kind of funny for me to say, going to Catholic school when I was little and kind of going the other way, and now I have a big trust in a higher power and a being that is taking care of and loving all of us. And that's been super special.
Love that.
The other thing is, I didn't even realize that my nervous system was so dysregulated.
Ah,
And now I would say I can regulate it myself.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, it has its ups and downs, but I think I even noticed in class I would come in at like a 10 and I could get it down, but now maybe I'll come in at like a 5 and I can get it down really quick.
Yes. Love
And so
that.
that's really cool. Even when stuff happens in life, I'm just like, oh, I got this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And so what would you say when you think about yourself at the beginning coming into this program and now, like what would be a word to describe how you felt then and how you feel now?
Yes. So before the program, I was lonely, isolated, ashamed, kind of rock bottomy. And now I feel full of joy and love and hope, and I feel light and free.
That's so powerful. And what are you excited to do with all of that energy now? Where do you want to pour it into now that it's not all in controlling food, body image, weight? Like, where are we putting this magical energy in your life?
Well, we're having a lot of fun. We're country dancing.
I love it.
We're two stepping. We're going to concerts. Um,
Yes.
we're dating.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're traveling with our family. Oh my gosh, something that I never thought I could do.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so, so proud of you and so happy to see you create this life. Hmm, brings me so much joy to see you live the way that you really deserve to, and you created that for yourself. So, yeah, I'm so, so proud of you. Oh boy. Well, I think we've said pretty much everything we need to say, but I want to check in if there was any last things that you feel called to share, Elisabeth.
Ooh, gosh, to say that the program changed my life isn't even fair, doesn't even do it justice. It has changed not just my relationship with my body, with food, it's changed my relationship with my family, with my friends, with myself, with the universe. It will absolutely change how I live the rest of my life, how I have kids. I didn't even think I could have kids before. Um, it just kind of goes on, and it's the gift that keeps on giving when you can love yourself and regulate your nervous system.
So true. Mic drop moment right there. I think so many people don't realize that the root of we're always seeking for that next external fix, right? What's the next diet? What's the next pill? What's the next workout plan that's going to solve my inner struggles? And we all know now, having been through this program, that it's the root is in your little nervous system. It's in your belief system. And when we take care of those things, life really has a way of unfolding very miraculously, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just getting started, baby.
Just getting started, and I'm so excited for you, and that's why selfishly I'm so excited we get to keep spending time together. So yeah, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. I know that those listening are going to get so much out of this, and I specifically needed to hear your story when I was me, crying myself to sleep with food smeared all over my face. Like, I needed your story. So I know it's going to help so many. And if you are out there listening and you're feeling like excited by this, that something could actually help you and that there's people out there that know how to support you to heal these issues, then you can book a complimentary consult call just like Elisabeth did with me or my team. And we would love to talk to you. And that it's just juliahalkier.com/apply. So, and that will be in the notes there below. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for listening and for spending this time with Elisabeth and I. We're so grateful. And yeah, I love spending this time with you. I don't want to leave.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Love you, Elisabeth. And we'll be here.
Yay!
Lots of love to all of you. Yeah, keep tapping it. Keep tapping. We tap in the magic. Love you. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for tuning in.